Heart to heart with Art Queen. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation today. I'm super excited for you to be here.
Oh, of course. Thank you for having me. It's a great honor. So appreciate
Good,
it.
good. Okay, so my first question, and it's a very basic one, but is Regis your real name?
No. not not many people know my real name actually.
It's fine. It's fine. You don't need to say it. I'm just
No, it's out there if you know where to look. You can find it in certain select spots, but no. But that said, Regis has become like so synonymous that like even my mom calls me Regis, my wife calls me Regis. It's like I call myself Regis. Like it's just like it's become such a big part of my identity, you know, because I'm doing it all day, every day. It's it might as well be my real name. So
okay, good.
it's kind of funny.
Good. Okay, so how did you come up with your name?
Well, it's a long story. Basically, I played World of Warcraft way back in the day, in like 2005 or six or something, and everybody was doing celebrity name like puns. So like they name their character after celebrities with a little twist. So mine is a twist on Regiskillbin, who you may know as like famous talk show host back in the day. And I had like different characters, like a warrior was Regiskillbin, and a priest was Regiskillbin, and a rogue was Regiskillbin because they'd steal things. So I had like a whole suite of characters, and I just kind of went with like the first one, which is Regiskillbin. It's just the default. You know, I never thought I would like be a YouTuber one day, and that would be my on in-game name, like on-screen name. So just sort of stock. I just kind of leaned into it. It's not the best name, I don't think, but it works well enough. I mean, Regis is a good name to go by, so it's done me all right. I can't complain.
Good. That's always like the fun question because there's always some things like that. Like last week with Ali, like her name is Alex. I'm like, why not Alex Straza? Like the card. It's like it was already taken. It was already.
Yeah, I guess I should ask you to say, like, where does your name come from? It's kind of Hearthstone connected, but also kind of not.
Okay. Well, funny story. I was in. I decided I wanted to start streaming, and I went on Twitch to do a name, and I tried probably a hundred name, and they were like, "Oh, it's taken. You can take that name with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at the end." And I was like, that is gonna be a very catchy name." And so my sister, I called her. She's in a car. It's Christmas. She's coming back from Christmas, and I'm like, I need your help. Can you help me find a name? And she's like, okay, what's the name of your game again? I'm like, Hearthstone. And she's like, okay. So she tried something, and she's like, why not Heart Queen? And I'm like, oh, it's already taken. But she's like, no, but with KW, like Queen, like. And I was like, oh yeah, let's try that. And it was available.
Yeah, it's good. It's a nice, clean, short name. It's great for branding.
I was so surprised when it was available. I just jumped on it.
Yeah, I thought about changing my name, but I never got around to it. Like I do also go by Regiskillbin on like side channels because I'm like so chill, you know. Of course, not really. I should have asked you if Heart Queen was your real name. That would be quite an interesting real name.
Well, yeah. Well, my mom calls me this now, so yes.
So it's a theme. Yeah, my mom goes by Regis too. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So Queen or Queenie.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yes. Okay. So how long have you been playing Hearthstone? Is it since like the game started, or a little bit after that?
Yeah, I think I started in season 2, so like May of 2014, if I remember right. I think that's when it was. So like 7+ years now. So not quite like beta. I was playing Heroes of the Storm at the time, I think. But then I got into Hearthstone, and that kind of took over. I really liked it a lot. So almost since the beginning. I didn't have that season 1 card back for the longest time, and then they like re-released it where you could buy it with gold. So I finally completed like the season card backs after, you know, took like 6 years or something to go back and get that very first one that I missed, which was nice.
Okay, good. And so since you've been playing Hearthstone since then, and so tell me, regarding your like starting streaming and making this a career, because this is your career, right?
Yeah, I'm full time as of 2.5 years ago, I think, something like that. Maybe almost 3 years actually. Yeah, almost 3 years. Wow.
So you started at the beginning. So how does it decided for you to like take the leap of faith and like start streaming?
Yeah. So it's a long story. Like I've had kind of history in online content. I used to be like really big into action figures, and I ran this like action figure fan site, kind of like a Hearthstone of action figures or something, like 2008, I guess, a long time ago. So I've always had that kind of history and was working in marketing. So I was playing a lot of games, and I was like, man, I'm spending so much time doing this. Like, I need to be productive. I always liked having a side hustle anyway. So I was like, I'm just gonna like start making videos. I've got this background. I've got some skills. Let's see how it goes. And once it started taking off, started making money, I was like, oh gosh, this is like actually a career, not just a side hustle. And eventually it just supplanted my real job at the time, and I just made the full swap to be a full-time streamer slash YouTuber. I guess I consider myself a YouTuber first and foremost, actually, not a streamer, but it certainly goes hand in hand.
Yeah, no, of course. And so you mentioned your first job. Like, so which field were you working in before?
So it's a long story again. I
It's good. We love long stories.
yeah, I started in undergraduate school. I went for psychology, and then I went to graduate school for what people would call industrial organizational psychology, which is like business psychology, like creating surveys, doing organizational research, business research, kind of consulting type stuff. And I honestly hated it. I really hated academia, and I hated that. So after I got my master's, I left my program instead of finishing my PhD because I had been working, as I mentioned previously, on that action figure website and like doing all this online content and writing. And I got a job for an e-commerce startup doing marketing instead of doing psychology stuff, because some of the like statistics skills, it was really statistics heavy educational program. So like a lot of that translated over pretty well. And of course I had the side hustle experience. So then I worked for this startup for the next, gosh, like 5 or 6 years after graduate school. And that's where I transitioned off of that into full-time Regis. I'm revealing my age. A lot of years got added in there. Started stacking up. I think I'm older than some people realize. I'm about to turn 35. I saw that your 30th birthday was like this week, right?
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Thanks. I didn't want to reveal my age first. Like I decided to do it. I think a month ago. I like for me it was a big thing not talk about my age, but at the same time I do understand that like you're like people are, the community is like part of my life every day, so it's like difficult not to share like big, because 30 is like kind of a big number, so it was difficult for me not to share.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. People always think I'm like late 20s. I mean, I don't think I look particularly young, but we're like over 30 is kind of getting a little older for like the streaming scene, but it's just we've been in it so long now, at least I have, that the years just add up. It's interesting. I'm actually a month apart from both Trump and Crip. We all three have birthdays within like a 2-month period. I think I'm actually the oldest of the three of us, but we're all really close as the sort of Hearthstone YouTube guys. We're all the exact same age, so it's kind of weird.
No, but it's good. I mean, don't tell that to Zeddy though.
I don't know how old is Zeddy. I have no idea. Does he reveal his age?
I think he did in the Heart to Heart. I think he did.
Oh, I need to go watch it. I need to see.
Which is so I don't know which one of you is the evil twin. Is it Zeddy or is it you?
I don't know. They did have that funny meme of like Zeddy being the corrupted version of my Hearthstone card. I guess that makes him evil. I don't know. I get like a reputation as like a nice guy sometimes, or like the good guy of Hearthstone or something. But I think it's silly. I don't think I'm all that nice, honestly. I yell at people in chat just like everybody else, and like I leave mean YouTube comments. People say mean things. I'm not that nice. I'm just neutral. I don't know. I get too much credit sometimes.
Oh my god, no, you're definitely a nice guy. You're definitely.
I don't know.
Okay, so let's talk about your family. How did they react when you say, "Oh, I'm gonna be a streamer, mom and dad"?
Pretty positive. I mean, I like already had a career and a good job and stuff, so there was no like conversation about like, oh, you're like throwing your life away, or you're like, nothing like that. And frankly, like, I think they were really encouraging. Like, I think they thought I would be really good at it. And I guess if I think back, my mom as a kid used to say all the time, she's like, I know you're going to be on TV someday. Like, you're going to be famous on TV. I just know it. I believe it. Like, she always kind of gave me that encouragement. And although I'm not on, like, TV, I mean, it's certainly very similar in a lot of ways. People watch me on TV. So I guess it maybe was destined or believed from the very beginning. Mama Regis offering quite a bit of support there. So they took it well and easy. I do remember, like, the first, like, 6 months or something, I was eating dinner with my parents and my aunt, and I said, hey, I made $30 on YouTube this month. $30 a month is like not a lot, obviously. And they were kind of giving me a little bit of a hard time, like, oh, $30, wow, like that's what a big deal, like that's silly, what a waste of time, because I think I made like 30 videos, I was making like $1 a video back in the day, which is, it's a good start, nothing wrong with that, of course, but not a career yet. And I was like, no, it's okay. I just need to double it a few times. Like, it's like, it'll be $60, then it'll be $120, and then it'll be $300 or whatever. That's good math, by the way. And then here we are a few years later, and needless to say, I've doubled it a few times, right? Like, I've done okay. It's turned into a job. So, I mean, there were like jabs and jokes along the way, but ultimately very supportive. And I was very lucky in that regard. Like, I had a good setup to start streaming. Some people struggle much more early on, trying to get it off the ground. It's like, that's a big stressor financially and emotionally and psychologically. But, I came in pretty steady and had it as a side hustle, and I was working from home. So it was like really easy to transition from work mode to streamer mode. So I can't complain at all. I was super, super lucky to have the opportunities I did to get it going. And that made it much more possible. I don't know if I could have done it, just bootstrapped from nowhere. That's really, really tough. So I'm always like looking out for smaller streamers and trying to raid people and support people and give them good advice and help when I can, because I know it's really, really tough, because it was tough for me and I had a pretty easy road compared to most.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's crazy that you say that, because in chat this morning, there's a girl named Maritime Max that came in, and she's like, I remember the first time I had a big grade, it was Regis rating me. It was last year. And she's like, I'm going to remember this my whole life. Like, she was really, like, it does mean something to people to get big grades. I got my first from Slicer. So yes.
Yeah, I always try to find people like 1 or 2 viewers, like at the very bottom of the listing. Because they're there putting in the work. And they haven't gotten any traction, like, just 1 or 2 people, maybe a loyal viewer, friend or something. It's like, that is a huge moment. Hopefully it's, I'm lucky to pass on the love. So I'm just glad to have that opportunity. Like, we've all been rated. It's all been like, the first time Kibler rated me, I think I was like, oh my God, there's so many viewers. Like, oh my God, there's like 2,000 people right now. What am I going to do? But you always appreciate it. It goes such a long way to like give you, I guess, energy and like motivation to keep going, even if they don't always convert to like long-term viewers. Just that like boost and excitement can go a long way towards driving people forward. So I'm happy to be able to do that. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
thanks for remembering, folks, whoever that was. Like, appreciate the kind words.
And it's just like, I think it's a good feature on Twitch, and it's something that is very positive and something that like really brings the community together and like to pass forward it's very compared to like on YouTube, like you go on a channel and like they suggest other things, but like you don't have the control over like where you're going if you're just watching videos, for example.
Right, right.
Which I love about Twitch is like you're able to choose who you're gonna give love to. So,
yeah. And by the way, people can ask me for raids. They like never do. I just pick people at random, you know, which I like that there's like some fate aspect to it there, you know, like Destiny, just being good luck, kind of RNG, Hearthstone style. But anybody out there who wants a raid, you're welcome to ask me if it lines up with my stream. I'm happy to take recommendations. So please, you know, feel free.
yeah, no, I agree. My mods are pretty good to like recommend people at the end of the stream. So we try to encourage small streamers and also get to rate people when it's their birthdays or when they get partners or hit milestones.
That's a fun idea. Yeah, I like that. Birthday raids. That's cool.
Yeah, we do have a lot of birthday raids. I must say. Well, I stream every day, twice a day, so 2 raids per day. So yes.
Wow, I used to do that too. I used to stream twice a day. I'd stream before work and then after work.
That's what I do.
Not maybe like 5 days a week necessarily, but you know, like three days a week. I do like two streams, then maybe 1 a day on other days. That's a hard schedule to maintain, but good job. Like that's awesome.
Thanks. Well, I mean, yes. I mean, when you start, as you mentioned, it's very difficult just to do that and not having, like, you need kind of like a side hustle to pay bills and not being stressed financially, because I feel that it does show, like, as a streamer, if you're not well or stressed or things like that. So it's good if you're able to like have the balance, but it's very, very hard to manage. I mean, and I'm sure it happens to you. Like lots of people ask, oh, like give me some tips. You just need to be online. Be online most of the time.
Yeah, I just say like do stuff, like make stuff, you know, whether that's streaming or YouTube or whatever else. I probably point people to YouTube a little more honestly, but either way, like just do things, like get started and get moving, and like a lot of the pieces will start to fall into place. You'll improve and learn what you want to do and get a feel for it as you go. But as long as you're making things, and then there's like more opportunities too, because you might get raided, you know. Like yesterday I tried to raid a guy and he went offline right as I raided him. And I was like, no! Like, I know, it was like a 30-second difference. He sent me a message, he was like, oh, I had the worst day, I missed your raid by 30 seconds, I just went offline. And I was like, no! So, you know, it's of course not his fault, just bad timing, bad luck. I'll catch him next time. I noted his name down, but being online can make all the difference. Okay, like that 1 extra minute could have made a big difference there.
That's a very good point. Okay, good. Okay, so let's get a little bit more into Hearthstone questions. So, for example, okay, so which hero did you get your first, golden hero? Because before it wasn't like the numbers of game, but which hero was your first golden one?
I think probably Druid. I used to like playing like ramp Druid way back in the day, like big Ancient of War, you know, just giant minion ramp Druid. I think Hunter was probably pretty close. I think the first deck I played, the Legend, was Undertaker Hunter way back when that deck was really, really strong with the little 1-drop Undertaker. But I think Druid is probably first, but Druid and Hunter were number 1 and number 2. And then last I think was Rogue. I don't play that much Rogue.
Oh, interesting.
Well, Demon Hunter, I guess. Demon Hunter technically last because it's new, but of the originals, Rogue.
Okay, good. And okay, so from all the expansion that Hearthstone has, which one was your favorite one and why?
Oh man, these are really tough questions. I'm not good at like answering on the spot Hearthstone.
Please don't say Ungoro. Please don't.
No, that's what I was gonna say.
Everyone says Ungoro.
Okay, I was actually gonna be my instinct. I guess I'll say Knights of the Frozen Throne then.
Okay.
But maybe like for selfish reasons, because I think that was the first time I really saw a big bump on YouTube. Like I had a few videos do really well and like started kind of seeing the writing on the wall a little bit. I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is like a real opportunity. Like this might be possible to make this a thing. And it was like really fun with like Death Knight hero cards were really cool and big and awesome. So I think that was where I started to turn a little bit of a corner. Although Unguro was kind of the next evolution of that. That's where I really went hard. So that was the instinct. But yeah, let's say Knights of the Frozen Throne. I think that was really iconic expansion. Like Death Knight hero cards were just so cool at the time. People loved it. I have a feeling that was statistically the peak of standard Hearthstone. I don't know that, but just kind of like looking at the numbers on Twitch and YouTube. I think that was a fond era for a lot of people. So let's say Frozen Throne.
Okay, good. I think I think everyone that was on Heart to Heart said Journey to Ungoro for multiple reasons, but I think you pinpoint one thing that was like the fun and standard, like the meta and everything was like just so much enjoyable, and like it was the peak of probably like numbers of viewers and things like that. But yeah, good. And so since the new expansion, what have you been playing?
I play everything.
Okay.
I really do. Like I test every deck. You know, I play every real deck and a lot of like meme decks and made up decks. Lately, it seems like I've most experimented with the Guff hero card, doing stuff with like 20 mana. You know, it's fun. Yesterday I did 2 Cthuns in 1 turn for 20 mana, so that was pretty fun. Yeah, it's whacked my opponent for like 60 damage or something. I don't know. So, but really, I just play whatever, like anything that's inspiring or fun. I don't restrict myself to like one class or one deck. And I definitely don't grind decks. I usually play like 5 or 10 games of a deck and then do something different, you know, mix it up and swap it up. So just whatever inspires us on the day, whatever good idea sounds fun, really.
So Guff would be your favorite card of the new set?
I think so, yeah. He's really fun. It's just so absurd what you can do with 20 mana. Like it really goes far. So I think so. I like Scabs a lot too because I revealed Scabs. He's kind of more boring and traditional, but I just, you know, I have a soft spot for any card I get to reveal. When Blizzard
Okay,
lets me
that's
reveal
good.
Cards,
That's
I
good.
like Scabs.
You're talking about revealing cards, so that goes to my next question. So which was the first card you revealed? Do you remember?
I do, yeah. It was in Boomsday Project, which was the first time I worked with Blizzard at all. Was Augmented Elec.
It's such a cool design. I love the graphic design of this card.
Yeah, I can't remember what it does right now. I'm blanking. Augmented Elec. Oh yeah, whenever you shuffle a card, shuffle an extra copy. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I think that was my first card reveal. So it's a great one. I've gotten some cool cards over time.
Good. Did you know how many you were about to? Did you reveal over time? Approximately.
Well, I done well. It's as far as like straight up cards, probably not that many, like 5 or 6. But I've done 2 card reveal streams, like the official streams, you know, like the big ones on the main channel, the official channel, where in those I revealed like 40 cards for Barons and I did for Rosticons as well. So I don't know, 20 or 30 or 40 in each of those. So total 100. I don't know. A lot. I'm lucky to get to do it.
That's really cool. That's really nice. Okay, and related to deck building, okay, with new decks, because you're mentioning that you like to experiment new decks and you change a lot. So when you're building them, like, what's your process? Like, how do you work to build one deck?
Yeah, so for me, it really all circles back to YouTube and creating content. Like, my goal is to make entertaining videos for people. It's my job, and it's just what I actually really enjoy, just making good videos, of course. So I really start often like with what I would call a hook or a storyline, like something about the deck that is unique or interesting, or sometimes just thematic. So sometimes that is like picking a card that's not often played or that people are like really excited about, but maybe isn't good right now. and then trying to identify ways to build the deck, sort of spotlighting or highlighting that card. So like, we've got 20 mana for Guff. How do I spend this 20 mana in a really fun, exciting way? Oh, I know, 2 Cthunes. Is the like that's a cool way to use Guff. I also built like a Guff deck with Ibis, the card that gets bigger with the more mana that you have. And for 20 mana, Ibis gets really big, and then you can maybe kill people with him. So just starting with some sort of hook or storyline that I think would make a really compelling video. So sometimes that's just like, I want to put this cool card in the thumbnail on YouTube so that people can see this legendary they've never seen before, or like this absurd moment, or like crazy thing that happens in a game is clearly going to be a great highlight for an intro on YouTube, and that can be a great way to make the video interesting. So really just like, I don't care about the decks being good necessarily. Like, I want them to be viable enough to win a game here and there, or do a quest, or have some fun with, but they don't have to be competitive meta decks. Like, I don't care about that at all. I just want the story and the moments and the like hilarity. Like, I know if I'm laughing a lot while playing it, like that's gonna be a good video because a lot of people like the same things I like, absurd, hilarious stuff. So it's really more about that side of it. How do I turn this into a good video, a good storyline, a good moment, as opposed to like the deck itself. Now, from there, of course, you just, you want to do the natural things, find a good curve, find synergistic cards. Sometimes you got to stick like good packages of cards in there to give the deck a fighting chance alongside your kind of meme stuff, but nothing too fancy. And, my decks sometimes work okay, but never that great. Nobody expects them to be ladder climbing decks or anything.
Okay, good. So you mentioned thumbnails, and that brings me to your YouTube part of your life. So first of all, it's a question that gets asked often in chat. So how to make like good thumbnails that are good? Like, do you use like a Canva or like a kind of a website that makes thumbnails, or you just go on Paint?
So like I mentioned before, I have a content and marketing background in which I learned a lot of Photoshop skills and design skills. I was working on like front-end design for e-commerce sites for a while there. It's kind of a jack of all trades in my marketing role. So, just kind of trial and error with some of that, and learning and getting better over time and seeing what other people do. But I use Photoshop as far as execution side of it. And, just kind of developed a visual style that I thought matched both me and Hearthstone and had some identifiability and read cleanly. Like, it's really important to have sort of iconographic appearances on YouTube so that people can very quickly parse and understand what they're looking at and setting up expectations for what they're going to see. So I guess that answers the question. But Photoshop, a lot of time in Photoshop and a lot of practice and a lot of templating and a lot of iteration on like figuring out what I want it to look like. And if you go back on my YouTube like 6 years ago, it's 1,000 times worse, right? Like the same base ideas often, but I've just, continued to improve it and refine it over the last 5-6 years, whatever.
Okay, good. And so I was looking at your YouTube, and I found that like your banner, like the up banner is so cool with like you in like a Hearthstone setting. This like, so I'm guessing there's an artist that does that for you?
Yeah, so this guy, Noah Warner, I commission him every expansion to do like a thematic expansion banner, like featuring either me or character. Well, it's pretty much always featuring like a version of me in the Hearthstone or Warcraft world, doing something goofy or weird, thematically connected to the expansion. So like I'm riding a dinosaur for Rostakon's Rumble. I'm like robbing the Dalaran Bank for Rise of Shadows alongside Rafam. The most recent one is like a dwarf version of me fighting an orc version of me in Alterac Valley with like some characters and Easter eggs in the background. But yeah, I just saw him, like he posted like some fan art on Reddit like years ago. I mean, I've been doing this for like 3 or 4 years. I think Rostakon was the first one. So I was like, dude, that's awesome. Could you make me some artwork? I'll pay you. So yeah, now we do on every expansion. And I've gone back and done like a Battlegrounds one and some other ones too. And we like go back in time to catch up occasionally on old expansions before we started, like Frozen Throne, Karazhan and stuff. So he's awesome. It really adds a lot of like thematic connection and kind of timestamps videos, because every video I have like a little intro and that's the artwork, and it's like if you watch it 3 years from now, you'll see the Alterac artwork and be like, oh, this is from Alterac Valley. So it's kind of both functional and just like a lot of fun too.
Okay, so he does a video too, like more other than just the graph. So it's like he does all these different things. You're not like it's like a all around kind of thing.
Well, no, he just does the art. Maybe I'm not understanding the question. I just commissioned him to do one art piece per expansion. I do everything else on my channel, like thumbnails and everything else.
Okay, so you're not commissioning it to do like the intro video. You're doing the intro video.
Oh yeah, no, I do everything for video editing. I very occasionally hire video editors if I'm like really behind or like trying to push something out really fast. But 99% of everything you see on my channel is from me, both editing, graphics, like everything else.
Okay, good. Okay, nice. And so do you have like any tips for people that are starting their YouTube, like what to focus first and how do you think like it can help us? It can help them grow.
Yeah, so I would say number one is just do stuff, like make stuff. Like a lot of people try to get like perfect before they make anything. Like they'll try to get like the perfect graphics or a logo for their name or like, you know, the perfect microphone and camera, and they'll spend like $1,000 doing all this stuff, and then they'll like not have any motivation to make a video. That's like the opposite order. Like, you know, just start with the cheapest webcam you can find and a $10 microphone off Amazon and like go. Like that's what I did. That's what most people do. And then make a lot of stuff. And nobody's going to watch it at first. And that's okay because you're not making it for viewers yet. You're making it for you to get better. You have to practice and learn and understand and like watch your own videos and edit yourself to like iterate and improve on your process and like your delivery skills and all these other things. Like you probably got to make 100 videos before you know what you're doing. You know, like some people are very naturally talented and just like have it perfect right from the start, but that's not most people. Most people, you got to figure it out. So just do a lot of things. Like I said, you know, I was for the first year and a half, I think I made like $150 total, and I had put out like 400 videos, right? It's like most people aren't willing to grind that out. And some people can't, to be fair. Like I said, I had a lot of opportunity. I had a job. Like I was able to do that. I understand some people that's not a possibility, but that helps. Just grinding, working, figuring it out, getting better. And then you'll start to see things on YouTube where it's like, okay, this video did a little better. Why did this video do better? And you start to study and learn from your successes and failures. You start to identify the variables that are shared across the things that are working better. It's like, oh, okay, whenever I had this kind of thumbnail, that works better. Like whenever I had this intro, like that works better. And all of that starts to coalesce into a lot of knowledge and expertise. And then eventually you're going to be really good at doing YouTube and it's going to work out. And then on top of that, I would harken back to the storyline thing I talked about. Like make sure your videos have a purpose. A lot of people will just make video because they think they're supposed to. And it's like, I got to have a daily video. I got to get something done. But you got to make sure videos have like a reason people come away from it satisfied. Like they want to have a moment or a, you know, something really cool they've never seen before. You got to make them laugh. You got to have some like knowledge in there so it can be educational. For me, it's usually like a big, you know, highlight moment, making them laugh or something. But you got to have a reason for the video to exist. So always keep that in mind when you're making a video. It's like, why are people going to watch this and why are they going to remember it? And if you can't answer those questions very well, that might not be a good video yet. So sometimes like I finished the video and I watched it. I was like, oh, this is not even any good. And then I'll delete it. Like I don't ever uploaded it. It's just like, that wasn't good enough. It's got to be better. Like I don't want them to be disappointed when they watch a video, which is hard. It's a lot of work lost, but that's the sort of process to make good stuff.
Good. I think it's gonna help viewers to improve their YouTube skills because it's a question that comes up very very often. So thanks for sharing.
Yeah, and if people have any like technical questions about YouTube, literally hit me up. There's so many streamers in my DMs on Twitter asking me about YouTube stuff, and I'm always happy to help. I have like 20 people I've offered like thumbnail advice, title advice, that sort of stuff, like I'm happy to give you advice. But the work side of it, of course, you got to do yourself.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm literally an open book, so feel free to ask away.
I can just imagine someone like going, pinging you and like, do you mind editing my videos?
Yeah, that would be pretty tough. But title advice, thumbnail advice, yeah, I'll help all day. I've helped people make thumbnails numerous times. So.
Good. Okay, so now let's go to the side of like your personal self, your personal Regis. Okay, so and so first question is like how do you keep your like personal self to your like Twitch persona or YouTube persona? Like do you have a separation? How do you keep privacy, or do you have any privacy that you wanted that you don't share? Like how does it work for you?
Yeah, I will say like I don't think I am especially different like in private life versus YouTube or whatever. Like I'm a generally like fairly boisterous and bubbly sort of person, I guess. There is one major difference. I actually cuss a lot in real life, but I never cuss on stream. I never say curse words on stream at all. I just decided from the beginning like to be sort of family friendly or whatever, and I've stuck to that. But that's not real life Regis at all. Like I cuss a ton in private. My wife too. Like we're foul mouth. So that I guess is one distinction might surprise some people. I talk about that on stream all the time, but if you don't watch, I guess that could surprise you. But other than that, I don't know. I think I will say like, I'm sure like everybody, the public persona of me is like the best version of me in a lot of ways. Like I clearly, I try much more to like, rein myself in and like be polite and positive and try to reinforce that. So I'm sure I'm a little more negative in some ways or just not quite as have a positive outlook always in private life, but I don't think it's significantly different. I think I'm more or less the same. So I don't guess I'm that different. And as far as privacy is concerned, like, I have an Instagram, my wife and I post pictures on there. There's nothing too secret or private. It's pretty much an open book. So I don't know. That might be a boring answer, but I guess it's more or less the same.
It's good. It's good. So you don't keep things private. Like you tell everything to your like. I mean, you don't keep anything for yourself.
Yeah. There's like, well, I have like health issues. I don't like to talk about a ton, but that's not like a privacy thing so much as
No. Of course.
I think that's just boring. Like I don't think people want to hear about it really. Like I just want to put on a good show, So like. I don't like focusing on it, but it's not something that's like I've hidden. I've talked about it on stream a few times here and there. It's just not like a big part of the show I want to put on, if that makes sense. So I do tend to like focus on Hearthstone as much as I can with, anecdotes and asides and funny stories here and there, of course. That said, I actually I was more nervous about this stream today or this interview today than I ever am even hosting a major Blizzard event. Because even though that has 50,000 viewers or whatever on the live stream, it's about Hearthstone. It's not about me. It's Hearthstone is the spotlight. The cards are what's important. I'm just sort of a presenter. I don't matter at all. And it's even on my stream, I'm secondary to the gameplay in a lot of cases. I'm just sort of serving up the gameplay. But here it's actually about me, and people are gonna find out I'm really boring. So it's like, oh man, I don't know. He's just pretty boring. So I was way more nervous about this than even, I wasn't really nervous at all hosting Blizzard stuff, even 50,000 viewers. This is it's just Hearthstone. I don't care. This though, I was kind of nervous this morning. I'll be honest.
Well, I think most people that came on the show told me this, that they were kind of nervous to talk about themselves, and which is kind of which I understand. It's different than just talking about Hearthstone in the game, but at the same time, I think that's why people like it, to learn a bit more about you, the real Regis.
Real.
I love that. I love that your mom called you like that.
Yeah, my wife too. Honestly, yeah.
So for you, since the beginning, like you were very open about like being married and your wife and everything. So do you think it helped you, or it was like it didn't help you? Like, do you think there was like you had a decision to take at one point to like share or not to share, and
Never really felt any pressure there. I feel like that might be different for women streamers than men streamers to some extent. Like I feel like there's sometimes more negative like backlash and connotations of that, which sucks. Obviously, like it's awful that that's even something to have to think about. But I guess I never felt any sort of pressure or problems there. So yeah, I mean, my wife doesn't like show up on stream much or anything, but she's in the background all the time. Like, you know, particularly back before we had the house we have now, we had an apartment and it was all open. There's no, it was like an open style loft. So literally everything she did in the background, you could always hear when I was streaming. If she's like cooking or doing whatever, right? Like just walking by, she's trying to talk to me at all. So it's like, it's never been something that was a secret or it was just always a part of it. So yeah, I guess it's been the obvious thing for me, but I do know that's more sensitive for a lot of other people.
yeah, okay, good. Well, thanks. Okay, so now we're gonna get into and I'm sorry for that, the most stressful part of the interview, which is the food section, which is the
My wife and I are foodies, but I did watch one of your previous ones. I have a feeling I'm gonna have some disappointing answers for you. If the questions always stay the same, I think I'm gonna disappoint you and maybe even anger you. So we'll see. Let's go.
Yeah, because no, but I'm not gonna ask this question. It's just because Alice Traza last week was the first female content creator that came on the show. So I wanted to ask a question more related to women, obviously, but the banana question, because it comes a lot. It comes a lot on stream, but like, can you eat a banana on stream?
I would have no problem eating a banana on
Well,
stream.
you see,
Yeah.
like I mean, us women, we cannot. Like,
Sure,
this
no,
will
I
be
understand.
taking very like sexually. So,
I get it. That's unfortunate, but yeah, I've eaten plenty of times on stream. I actually hate eating on stream. Not from like, you know, anything of that side. It's just I like to like try to really hone in on the show of it. You know, like I want to present a really tight block of the gameplay. I don't like to be like too distracted or take too many breaks or anything. So I try not to eat on stream, but if I were eating, I wouldn't have any hesitations about a banana. I'd let the memes. I'd let it roll.
yeah, and I agree with you. I don't like to eat on stream, but I do often, because I mean, I stream before work and after work. So if I want to
Sure.
eat at some point in my day, I don't have the choice.
I get it. Yeah. Streaming twice a day, you kind of have to squeeze it in whenever you can. Yeah.
So usually it's like coffee in the morning at least, and often dinner on stream.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I like, obviously everybody has their own schedules and what works best for them, and this works best for you. But I think most streamers actually stream too much. This is perhaps a hot take, or you know, people are going to disagree. I think people like burn themselves out, and of course it depends on like your energy. Like you have a very chill stream, like you're not like try-harding or being like crazy intense, you know. So I think for you, of course, it's probably completely healthy, and you're just, you know, having a grand old time. But I think some people get like too into it and stream so much, and that makes them both hate like Hearthstone more than they would otherwise do. And I think it probably hurts the viewer experience a little bit if they're getting like really burned out and negative. I would encourage most streamers to try to stream less. I know there's financial pressures and other things that like create complications there, but I think most people would be better served turning some of their time into YouTube and trying to grow that side of it. So that's just my YouTuber voice, I guess, coming through. But it's just like, it's really intense to play the same game like 40 hours a week even, and some people go way harder than that. So anyway, that's an aside, but I try to not stream that much, actually.
Good. I'm glad that the food question were very deviated into.
Sorry, yeah.
Okay, so wine or beer?
Neither. I don't really drink at all. I told you I'm going to be really boring. I would choose beer if I were going to choose one of the two, but I don't really drink much. I think I don't have any problems with it or anything. It's not like some I'm not like sober with some moral thing or anything. I just don't really like drinking that much. And I think actually I'm just cheap. I don't like spending money that much. So I just like would rather get water if I'm out. I'm so sorry. I know that's boring. I know.
Okay, good. Do you like cheese?
Uh, no.
Oh my God, guys,
I know, I told
no
you,
one
I
told
told
me
you.
this before the interview, guys.
Listen, like obviously cheese is okay, like but both my wife and I are a little sensitive to dairy. Like we, not to get too into it, but like it gives us a hard time in the gut, So we don't really do much cheese except for pizza. Like we'll go get a good pizza. So, some fresh mozzarella on a pizza is really about our limit for cheese. I mean, she eats cheese sometimes, but less than me. But really, just on pizza. I don't do cheese much. Like occasionally on a sandwich, but I usually go no cheese. But I do prefer like a white cheese. And I don't like thinking too rich or too crazy. Like pretty bland and boring. This is for me. So I'm sorry. I know.
Oh my God,
I'm breaking your heart.
This is devastating.
Sorry.
I think my body is mostly composed of cheese and wine.
Nah, I whine a lot, but I don't drink wine. Yeah.
This is crazy.
I'm sorry. I knew this question was coming. I knew it was gonna disappoint. Yeah, I don't like coffee either. I don't like coffee.
I thought this wouldn't be possible. No wine, no cheese, no coffee, guys.
Yeah, I don't. I'm
What
so
do
sorry.
we do with him?
I really hate coffee. Like coffee. I feel like I don't understand how people drink. I really hate coffee. I can drink a beer or wine or eat a cheese, but I can't drink coffee. It makes me gag. I hate it. It's so bad.
Wow. So what do you
think
drink in the morning?
I just like
Nothing.
a diet soda or water. Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry. Tea's okay, but I don't usually ever go to the trouble to make tea. So.
Okay. So are you a cook?
No, I'm bad. No, my wife does all the cooking, or we eat out a lot. We're kind of foodies. Like we eat out a lot. Like we'll order food or eat out a ton. Ordering more since pandemic, but I don't really cook much. No, I cooked some scrambled eggs the other day. That was about the extent of my my cooking abilities. So I'm sorry. I told you I'm boring.
So what, like for example, for lunch, what are you gonna make?
I'll order food. We order food. My wife's out of town right now, so especially I'm just ordering food.
Okay, so
actually,
what are you gonna order?
I ordered sandwiches from this local Italian sandwich shop yesterday, and I got one for yesterday, one for today. So I got a like an Italian sub to eat later. That's it.
A sandwich kind of guy.
Yeah, I like any kind of food. We eat pretty much anything and everything. My wife is Filipino, so we eat a lot of Filipino food. We eat a lot of Asian food in general. Like we've been on a big Korean kick lately because she's super into Korean dramas. So we've been eating a ton of Korean barbecue lately. But pretty much anything. We actually have a pretty good food town here. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, which kind of in the middle of nowhere in some regards. I don't know if you know St. Louis.
Yeah.
It's like in the middle of the U.S. But we have like this burgeoning food scene that's kind of awesome, and like we get to eat a ton of great local places. So we're just pretty much picking somewhere different all the time and having great food.
And you have great barbecues, I think, in St. Louis.
We do, yeah, actually. We don't eat that much barbecue though, weirdly.
Okay, you say you like everything, and then you mentioned five things.
I love barbecue. I love barbecue, but we just don't eat it that often. Like we're usually going for like tacos or Korean or like this Filipino pop-up shop my wife loves. Like just we try to find like different specialties and different branches of food. But we'll eat barbecue. Like barbecue's great. Just not that common for us. My wife is an excellent cook, by the way. I should give her more credit. Like she makes amazing stuff all the time. So, like, when we're not eating out, like, she's making something incredible, like, a few times a week, so.
Okay, good. Good. Okay, last food question. Are you more... Yeah. I'm gonna give you a breather after that.
Yeah.
So, are you more vegetable or fruit? Are you more savory or sweet?
Well, I would say I'm more fruit than vegetables, but in general more savory than sweet.
Okay.
So I like fruits a lot, but as far as I don't like desserts all that much, surprisingly. Even looking at me, I'm not. My wife is the dessert person. She really likes sweets and has to have dessert after a meal. I'm definitely fine with just like meat and potatoes kind of things.
Okay,
Carbs
good.
and hearty sort of meals are my size,
Okay.
and then she likes the desserts. Like she has to get ice cream after every meal, I think. So gotta find her an ice cream shop somewhere.
Good, good, good. Well, that's good because that like I don't really eat dessert, so that's good. And I'm with you on that. That is the normal side of you.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
thank you. Finally got one thing right. My God.
I mean, we were not even able to get into your favorite cheese question because you only eat one kind of cheese.
Yeah, right.
No, it's fine, it's fine. So yeah, okay, so we're gonna go with the viewers question. Okay, so Ono, did you send it to me by okay. So I'm gonna moderate them. So if someone says something crazy, don't worry, I'm not gonna ask.
I like crazy questions too. Don't worry. I'll be right.
It's fun. The funniest thing, everyone says that, but I'm like, no, no, no. No. Okay, there's 12 questions. Okay.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh, okay. So question number 1. You have perfect hair. What is your secret?
Uh, blow dryer is the secret. No, guys never want to blow dry their hair. I mean, obviously there's like genetics. I have like pretty naturally thick hair. I got lucky on the hair game, but it's the blow dryer makes the difference. Like people would be shocked what my hair looks like if it's not blow dried. You got to get that lift in there. The guys are like, I was like this. I was shamed for years. I didn't know I had good hair. It's like, guys, I'm a man. I can't blow dry my hair. That's for women, like that ridiculous stereotype. And then I finally used the blow dryer and I was like, my God, it's majestic. I love it. It looks so full and buoyant and beautiful. It's actually like a little wet today, so it's not even that big, but yeah, just blow dry it and a little bit of product, a little pomade and blow dry, and that's all I do. I don't even use like fancy shampoos or anything like that. I just use like 2-in-1 cheapest Suave conditioner and shampoo in one, but just the blow dryer does all the work.
Good. Well, that's a good answer. That's kind of like interesting. It's different. Okay. What are your favorite games beside Hearthstone?
Oh, there are other games besides Hearthstone?
That's what I would respond.
I mean, honestly, that's a joke, but it feels like I don't have time to play games outside of Hearthstone. I've been trying more and more to like weave in variety games content because it's really hard for me to spend time doing anything that's not hanging out with my wife or working on Regis. Like I just don't have that much other spare time, right? So if I'm gonna play other games, I need to make it productive. But I play all kinds of stuff. I've played Runeterra recently, the League of Legends card game, quite a bit, but I've got a bunch of games here that are cool. Oh, I played Guardians of the Galaxy recently. That was awesome. I like Battle Royales if I ever play with my friends, so like PUBG or Warzone or something. Traditional stuff. I think my most favorite game recently, like Risk of Rain 2 was awesome. I'm just kind of looking through on my PC here. Valheim was really fun when that came out. Yeah, those are probably the ones that come to mind.
Okay, good. And do you play any board games?
No, I don't really do board games. My wife and I like find them boring. I don't know what it is. I can't like lock in for that long in a board game.
That's because you don't drink wine.
You gotta have wine and cheese to fuel the board games. I get it. No, we got invited to a board game night with our friends, and we were just like, nah, we'll pass. It's not really for us. We just know we're not into it. Like, it's just, like, it takes too much focus and time. Like, my brain bounces around too much for that. I can't do it.
Are you more of a puzzle guy?
No.
Okay.
I mean, my wife and I watch a lot of TV and movies. Like, we're foodies and, like, TV people. Like, we watch a lot of shows, But no, I don't do puzzles. I mean, I like chess and stuff. I used to play a ton of chess with my dad back in the day. Like, clearly I have a history of that, but nowadays it's all Regis or Lifetime.
Okay. What did you like most about Heroes of the Storm?
I thought it was really cool having all the Warcraft characters all together and getting to experience all those worlds together, because like I played a ton of World of Warcraft back in the day, as we talked about, and it's like that universe I love, and that's part of the reason I love Hearthstone so much, is like all these characters are so rich and awesome. And Heroes of the Storm gave a way to like really put those into action, but also with StarCraft, which was really cool too, and Diablo, which is also awesome. So just taking all the Blizzard universes together and kind of getting to do that. Plus, I was like pretty good at the game. Actually, it scratched a bit of a competitive itch for me, more so than I focus on in Hearthstone. Like, I don't care about being good in Hearthstone, but I was decent in Heroes, like legend level plus equivalent if you were comparing it to Hearthstone. So it was actually pretty fun to be good and like try hard at something back in that era. And then I used to write articles for Heroes of the Storm for the Tempo Storm esports team website. Like, I used to write, I think I wrote like 100 articles for them.
Whoa,
like,
that's a lot.
Creating content, yeah. That was kind of right as I was starting off with the YouTube stuff too. That was like another side hustle. So it was fun just writing and like trying to master that game. But I didn't really play any other MOBAs. I never played League or Dota before that. So Heroes was like my first big MOBA game, and I like really dove into it.
Okay. Good, thanks. What is the best part of being a streamer?
Everything about it. I think it's the best job in the world by a mile. Like, it's just getting to play a game and make stuff and be my own boss and having full autonomy and a bunch of cool people to hang out with every day. It's like, you know, people, I always see this argument about whether streaming is like a difficult job or not. And like, obviously, like any job, it has its challenging aspects. Clearly it's work. I think it's legitimate work, but it's like the best work. I mean, it's having other real jobs and bosses. Like, it's so much better to be your own boss and control your destiny and like just getting to play a game. Like, I know how stupidly lucky I am to have this job, so I try to never take it for granted and always appreciate like every second of it, because it does not really get any better than this.
Good. Have you ever been stopped on the street saying, "Hey, Regis"?
I've had a couple run-ins, like at BlizzCon everywhere, like, you know, because that's like selecting for people who are into Hearthstone. So BlizzCon, I would get stopped like every minute or two for photos or whatever, and autographs, which is so weird, but it's like that's crazy that somebody wants my autograph. But thank you, it's nice. But a couple times in real life only. One time a guy came to my house to do some work, like on my furnace. And he was like, "How do I know you? Like, you're so familiar." And I was like, "Dude, I don't think we know each other." And he was like working for 30 minutes. And like 30 minutes, he goes, "Oh my God, you're Regis, aren't you?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that is me. And you now know where I live. So that's cool." But no, he was really chill. He like wasn't a big Hearthstone guy, but he actually played like a different game and has like a YouTube channel himself. It was a little smaller, but still actually pretty successful. And he was like, I watched a little bit of Hearthstone and I realized I knew you. So that was the craziest. Like, he was in my house and recognized me. But
how was he in your house?
He was doing like my furnace was getting repaired. So
okay,
he was like the repairman.
Okay,
he wasn't like the actual repairman, but he was like there to like set up the, I don't know.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
To review it or whatever, the contractor guy. So he was just like, the whole time he was like looking at it. He's like, "Man, you're so familiar. How do I know you?" And then he finally put it together. So, but he's a cool guy. We kind of became friends off that. So that was a funny story.
Good. And have you ever been worried that someone is gonna like knock on your door? Like, no?
Really? I mean, I don't think like, well, I mean, obviously that's the problem for streamers, like the whole swatting thing and there's creepy people out there, I guess, to some extent. But number one, I don't know if anybody knows where I live or my address or anything. Hopefully I've kept that fairly private. But number two, like, I don't think I have the kind of followers or audience who would ever be a threat to that, I guess. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm not that important to anybody's life that they would try to come find me. Like, who cares? I'm just so weirdo on the internet. I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay, good. So one of the viewers is asking, he's having difficulty staying positive and happy while streaming Hearthstone. Do you have any tips?
That's a tough one. I do feel like, to me, like, the positive attitude kind of comes organically. I don't really have to like force it or push it too much. So as far as like trying to do that, I guess just remember, like, you're playing a video game. It's not, there's no other sort of challenge to it, or there's no pressure to it. Like, the whole point is you're having fun playing a video game, and you don't need to do anything else, right? Like, there's, just play the video game and have fun, and make it about the fun, and don't make it about winning or entertaining too much, or like trying to grow your stream. All that stuff will come with you having fun. If you enjoy your experience and put on a good energy, people will be attracted to that. So I would just focus on like how lucky you are to just be chilling playing a video game. That's a pretty good spot to be in.
I agree 100% with you. Good. So I'm not sure about this question. Okay, so how did you come up with Holy Broad? Holy Broad?
Oh, it's like a meme from my way back in the day on my channel. I don't know if you know Ben Brode, the guy who used to be the game director for Hearthstone, the really funny guy who laughed a lot. I used to have like a meme where we would like pray to Holy Brode, the game director, to like give us good RNG and good luck and stuff. I don't know how I came up with it. Just trying to do something funny. I think wasn't any big moment of inspiration or anything. So I guess just trying to be funny and goofy. I don't do as many like memes on stream as I used to. I used to really try super hard to do memes, but now it's more just like having fun playing the game.
Okay, good. What made you try duels? Are you enjoying duels, and how can duels improve?
Yeah, so this last Hearthstone meta, like the United in Stormwind Hearthstone meta, I wasn't really having as much fun playing standard. Like, there's a lot of quest lines and just felt really repetitive, and so I was like, let's mix it up. And people weren't watching as much, frankly. Like, I think other viewers were kind of bored by it too, and it was hard to find good video ideas. So I was like, let's try duels, see how it goes. And duels has like a lot of crazy moments and like really weird, wacky highlights. And it turns out people really like watching duels. So I was like, oh man, I like playing it too. Like, it's pretty fun how goofy this gets. So it was just sort of the perfect storm. I was like, yeah, let's do it. So the last like 2 months, most of my time was spent on duels instead of standard. That has since shifted back a little bit since Alterac Valley came out. Now we have like new cards. We've been a little bit more standard focused. But yeah, I love duels. It's been really fun. I think more people just need to give it a shot. Number one, Blizzard could certainly offer more developer support, and content would help. I think it's doing a pretty good job with what they've got. And then like ease of access, it's really hard for people to play duels because you gotta like have all the cards and you gotta build a deck, and then if you want to play heroic, it costs gold. So there's like 3 or 4 layers of sort of stuff getting in the way to get people in the system. So just creating an easier path to entry would probably help duels a ton.
Okay, good. Well, I don't know if you knew, but I when I started to stream Hearthstone, I was streaming duels back in January.
Cool.
And I remember people would come on my stream and like, why do you stream duels? Nobody watched that. And I was like, and even like some of my viewers that now in chat, they were like very, they didn't like it, but after watching me play it, they started playing it too, because they saw that like it was just a bad rep. There's a lot of cool stuff you could do in duels.
Yeah, I think it's been great. That's awesome. I didn't know that. And also, if you only been streaming since January, I guess I didn't realize that.
Yes, it hasn't been a year. It's been a crazy 11, almost 11 months.
Wow, that is so cool. Well, first off, congrats on the early anniversary. That's awesome.
Thank
also,
you.
like you've gotten really far so far in just a year. That is amazing.
Thanks.
Like, yeah, you've had a big week too. I saw you got like a bunch of new emotes. You were on the launcher again this week. Like, man, it's all hitting. That's so cool.
Yes, thanks. I appreciate that. Well, I've been like streaming lots and lots and lots, like 40 hours a week and working 40 hours a week. So My life is basically streaming and working. So in between those four walls.
Yeah, have you like, are you thinking about like turning it into a career soon or eventually, or?
Well, when it's gonna pay more than my regular job, maybe.
That was my threshold. Like that, I actually had that exact rule. Like I have to exceed my income for 6 months before I'll swap. And actually, I did a full year, like to be super safe. That's a good threshold to have. Some people I think pull the plug too early, and it's really tough. So I had to like match that or exceed it for a year before I said, okay, sayonara, I'm doing this full time.
Yeah, and my job thinks it's really cool that I do that too. Like they're very supportive of me doing it, and they all like. I work in advertising. I'm a project manager, and so I get showcased in clients. Look, our employee does that too. So I think it's kind of like a win-win for everyone.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so duels. Okay, standards. Should standard cards like Octobot and Lady Anaconda get the duels treatment of reduced by X mana but not less than 1 mana?
Sure. Yeah, that's a commonly floated suggestion. I think it's completely reasonable. I will say, like, I don't think it has to go that way. Like, clearly there are other ways to balance cards, but that would certainly help fix both of those cards, because 0 mana is often a problem in Hearthstone. Anytime something goes to 0, shenanigans start to happen and crazy things happen, and you can go infinite with stuff. So that difference between 0 and 1 is really, really big. So I think that would be a fine change, and I certainly hope that Octobot gets changed. I think it's been too good for too long. So we had a tease that there are going to be some balance changes sometime. I don't know when, but hopefully Octobot's on that list.
Good. Well, and Lady Anaconda.
Yeah, I guess so to be honest, that deck doesn't bother me as much, but it does bother a lot of people. So I certainly hope she's on that list too, for everybody else.
Good. Any comment on the... Okay. Do you have any comment about what's going on in Wild on Twitter?
Yeah, the Wild drama. I guess just to recap that if people don't know what's going on. So, that's what a weird long story. Basically, like people made fun of Wild players, saying it's like really easy to hit Legend, as easy as like tying your shoe, and Wild players got mad about it, and some of them are lashing out in some pretty harmful ways. I mean, listen, like. To me, I watched the thing live. I did not think it was insulting. I just thought it was a funny joke. I play a little bit of Wild. I played Wild multiple times this week already. I didn't certainly take offense to it. I thought it was just a funny joke. People give game modes crap all the time. People make fun of duels all the time, right? Like, I don't care. So I was really surprised by the backlash. Like, I get some people are like defensive, protective of their game modes and stuff. I understand, but you don't ever lash out at people. Like, I saw some really hateful comments to the parties in question based on their comment. Like, don't do that. Like, if you enjoy your game mode, enjoy it. That's awesome. But be positive about that reaction. Don't turn to like hate and negativity about it. Like, say, oh, actually I love Wild. That was a really funny joke, but Wild's awesome. You should check it out. Don't be like, you're stupid. Wild's awesome. How could you say this about me? So, I think people have feelings, but just expressing them in a more positive and constructive way would be nice.
Yes.
And don't take things too seriously. Remember, it's a video game about monsters fighting each other. It's really not that big a deal.
Yes. No, I think Wild players are very protective of their mode, and that's why I play all the game modes. Just so when I say something, people cannot say, "Oh, you don't play it, so you're not allowed to say it." So I don't mind giving my opinion because I play all the modes.
Yeah, I get it. I understand why they're defensive too. Like, Blizzard has definitely left Wild out to dry a lot, but they've also done some great things for Wild. They've banned cards as needed here and there. So I understand the like defensiveness, but you don't lash out at other people if you're frustrated by how Wild is being treated. Just express that in positive ways. Talk to Blizzard about it. Don't hate on other people.
Exactly.
Just be nice. It's so simple. Be nice. Like that's.
I agree. I agree. Who are you rooting for in the Hearthstone World Championship?
I don't know. It's happening right now, right? Like I think it's actually started. I don't even remember who's in it. Which is funny because I have actually watched quite a few GM weekends and stuff. Let me look real quick. Who? Oh, maybe Nalgadon. I like Nalgadon quite a bit. I think Nalgadon's in it. Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, actually, maybe I'll root for Gabby because Gabby's just been really, really good at everything. Yeah, let's say Gabby. But I don't care. I just like watching. I don't have favorites.
Good. What would you implement into Hearthstone to make it more approachable for new players?
Oh boy.
That's actually a very good question that I've been trying to figure it out too. I'm still thinking about it.
Yeah, I think Hearthstone has two major challenges, and I don't know if I'll have any solutions here, but I can at least acknowledge the challenges. There's both a cost problem and a complexity problem. It's really intimidating to come into the game, and there's just like a billion cards and a lot of things to learn and understand. It's really hard to compete right away for new players because it's just like an information dump, and you have to know all these different decks and metas. Like even if you know your deck, there's like a million other things you got to know. So I think that's really intimidating for new players. It takes a long time and a lot of like good faith to be committed for that long to learn all that stuff. So it's just like, oh man, I can't deal with all this. And then also the cost side of things, like if you want to have competitive good decks, you have to spend, often too much money to get there, and a lot of people don't want to do that. So I don't know, the new player stuff they've implemented seems to have helped a little bit, like giving a free deck and all that's great. I still feel like there's a long way to go though to making it accessible. I don't really know what to do though as far as answers is concerned. I think Battlegrounds is a great example of solving those problems though. Battlegrounds, you go into the game, you hit play, and you're there. And you don't have to build a deck, you don't have to know a billion things necessarily. Like you learn it as you go. It's free to start. You don't have to amass this big collection. So that's why Battlegrounds has seen so much success. It solves all those problems. So I think the other game modes in Hearthstone have to figure out some mechanism to be closer to Battlegrounds in that regard to get people in the system and then also hooked on the system as well.
Good. That's a good answer. Okay, so it's not okay. Two last question. What changes to Hearthstone should the developer focus on for the next year?
Like to see, this is actually, I talked about this on Twitter when Ixar asked a similar question. I would like to see some like social / guild type stuff in Hearthstone. I would like a way to like hang out with people in Hearthstone. It's such a solitude type game. You don't talk to anybody or do anything with anybody. You just queue up by yourself. Like, thank God I have a stream to entertain me, but I would like to have a guild in game where I've got like 100 people that are all in the same guild and we're like working on collective quests together, or just like talking in a guild chat in game. Right now everybody just talks on Discord. There's so many ways that you could build community inside of Hearthstone instead of all these communities that are being fostered outside of Hearthstone, which would just make the game feel to me like more engaged. And I instead of just like right now I'll play and like edit videos. What if I'm playing and like chatting with people in game in my guild? I think that would be so much fun. So like that's one of the reasons everybody loves World of Warcraft. You don't even care about the game half the time. You're just like chatting with friends and goofing off and like hanging out together. So if that were in the game itself, I think that would really help people stay connected to Hearthstone and feel more a part of things as opposed to just kind of plugged into this system.
Okay, good, thanks. Last question. What do you do when you're not playing Hearthstone or streaming or making videos for the game?
Sleep. I mean, honestly, like I said before, really all I do is hang out with my wife and work, which is not a complaint. That's awesome. I love it. Those are my two favorite things to do, frankly. But yeah, like we'll go out to eat, we'll watch shows, and I'll work. And like I'm constantly I guess, I mean, I spend a little bit of time like reading online on my phone, like just browsing Reddit or whatever, I guess, is the next closest thing to entertainment that I do. But I try to spend most of my time working on stuff. I have so many videos constantly to make and streams to do, so not much, but that's not a problem. I really like it that way. I think I have a great life right now. Very lucky to have it, so.
Good.
Fun. It's fun to make content, frankly. Like, that's entertainment to me, like working on videos and stuff. It's really fun.
Good. And do you do any sports or like outdoor activities, physical activities?
Not so much. Like, my wife and I were playing tennis a little bit till it got cold, so we'll probably kick that back up in the spring. I like tennis a lot. Used to play tennis a ton in high school. I was into sports more as a younger person, but lately not so much. But I follow like the NBA a little bit, like on Reddit and stuff, just reading. I don't really watch games or anything. So I used to play basketball and tennis mostly.
Good. Well, thank you so much. This is the end.
Sure.
I hope it wasn't that bad.
No, it was fun. Yeah, thank you. It was awesome. I feel like I was super boring, but that's what you wanted, Regis. It's what you got. Boring. I don't like cheese or coffee or wine, so I'm sorry.
Let's not come back. You know it's gonna be on Twitter, right? Chat is gonna make comments about that.
I don't care. That's fine. I'd rather make fun of me than somebody else. So please, direct your anger here.
So the meme from last week was Ali said, "So you put cheese on bread?" So that was the meme last week. Let's see what chat is gonna come up to this week. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate that. Thank you for taking the time and to talk a bit about yourself so the community can learn a bit more about you as a person, the real Regis.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Good luck with your show here and future guests. Hopefully they're more entertaining than I was. But like, congratulations on all your just like enormous, awesome milestones lately. That's so cool to see. I'm rooting for you. I think your stream is really chill and like and charming to listen to. So I think you'll do well.
I appreciate that.
Only the best for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So have a great day and hope you're gonna enjoy your sandwich.
I appreciate it. Thank you, chat, everybody. Appreciate your time.
Bye.
See ya.